Chapter 23-26. The third and fourth demons furrowed their brows. That shouldn't be the case. Other than that kid, how could anyone else fight against him? Even Xiao Kuang didn't have the strength to do so. Xiao Kuang couldn't even defeat the fourth demon, let alone the second demon. However, they were soon stunned. That was because they saw a figure flying back from the sky. His huge body smashed through the void. Countless cracks appeared along the way. What's going on? Second elder brother was sent flying. How was that possible? Who is it? Who is it? Could it be that the powerhouse of the Hong sect was here? They were too shocked. Even the great demon frowned. His eyes were like two black magic lamps again, emitting a deathly light, as if he wanted to see everything clearly. The cultivators of the Tung family were even more stunned. The scene at this moment was still beyond their imagination. Damn it, who is it? The second demon stopped in the sky. He wasn't injured, but his arm was numb. He couldn't even use his strength for the time being. The blood in his body was boiling. Fortunately, he suppressed it, or he would have spat out a mouthful of blood. His two bell-like eyes shone with a terrifying light. His eyes were filled with shock and surprise. The reason for that was because this scene had truly exceeded his expectations. Originally, he thought that it would be easy for him to kill these young people after the kid left. In fact, he could even kill them all with one blow. Who was it? He couldn't figure it out. However, he was certain that it was a peerless powerhouse. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to force him back. Of course, it's your grandpa dragon. Amidst the light that filled the sky, an arrogant voice rang out. For a moment, countless people looked over. The second demon waved his arm, and the huge sky-splitting axe split all the light in front of him. He wanted to see who it was. What? It's you. The second demon was stunned when he saw who it was. He wasn't the only one. Everyone was stunned. That was because they realized that the figure in front of them wasn't a powerhouse from the Hong sect, but a dragon. Of course, they didn't think that it was a dragon. That was because they didn't believe that real dragons existed in this world. However, they thought that it should be some kind of flood dragon. What made them even more shocked was that they had originally thought that it was just a pet of that kid. But who would have thought that he would be so powerful? The dark red divine dragon waved his dragon claws and said coldly, "Big guy, how dare you hit your grandpa dragon? I'll definitely kill you today." Courting death. The second devil was truly enraged. Being looked down upon by a 20-something-year-old brat had already made him very angry. Who would have thought that he would be despised by a snake? His lungs were about to explode from anger. Therefore, in the next moment, he roared and swung the heaven-splitting axe in his hand. "Oh my, you still dare to attack me? It seems like you really don't know what's good for you." The dark red dragon sneered. Just as he was about to make a move, the person beside him was even faster than him. He turned into a bolt of lightning and dashed out. The one who attacked was naturally Morong Qingqing. To be honest, she was also furious. At this moment, her delicate little face was covered with ice. Before the dark red divine dragon could make a move, he had already made the first move. With a wave of his jade-like hand, a 5-colored lotus flower flew out. Boom, boom, boom. The lotus flower collided with the heaven-splitting axe, causing a huge explosion that caused the entire space to tremble. The heaven-splitting palace kept retreating. The light on it dimmed, and the second devil retreated again. Bang, bang, bang. He created more than 10 black holes in the void before he stopped. Then his bronze eyes shone with a crazy light. Damn it, that's impossible. He's crazy. He's really crazy. How could there be someone who could block his attack? I don't believe it. My eyes must be playing tricks on me. The third and fourth devils roared crazily. The people of the Tung family were also dumbfounded. What did they just see? A beautiful woman blocked the second devil's attack. Heavens, who is this person? First, that brat displayed the strength of a peerless almighty. Then a dragon appeared. Now a beautiful woman appeared. Could it be that the other party had 3 almighty powerhouses? They trembled at the thought of this. The other party had a total of 6 people, and 3 of them were peerless almighties. How dare they attack such a team? Weren't they courting death? Tung Kuan and the others wanted to slap themselves when they thought of how arrogant they were, and how they looked down on the other party. We were wrong. We were all wrong. The elders of the Tung family were also frightened. These people were definitely terrifying. We shouldn't have provoked them. Damn it, who are you? The second devil roared crazily. To be honest, he had also gone crazy. In fact, some people even began to doubt themselves. How could a few young people from the other party have the same strength as him? He even suspected that he had fallen into an illusion. Humph. Morong Chingching snorted coldly and did not answer. She said in a sweet voice, "Ruffian dragon, leave this person to me." "All right." The dark red dragon shrugged. Then he looked around and cracked the corners of his mouth. "Then I'll play with the two of you." He fixed his eyes on the third and fourth devils. Immediately, the third and fourth devils trembled, and a hint of fear appeared in their hearts. They wanted to ask for help, but they discovered that no one could save them. The second devil was stopped by the beautiful woman, and the great devil was personally attacked by that young fellow. The people from the Tung family were no match for them at all. "Damn it, how dare you look down on us?" The third devil roared furiously while the fourth devil gritted his teeth. "That's right. Do you really think that you can fight against us just because you blocked second brother's attack? You're too naive. I'm guessing that you must have used a secret technique to forcefully increase your combat power. Just watch, we'll kill you in a while." The third and fourth devils soared into the sky and charged madly at the dark red dragon. Soon a great battle broke out. The dark red dragon and Morong Chingching exchanged blows with their opponents. On the other side, Lin Xian swayed and appeared in front of the great devil. The great devil was a middle-aged man. His face was as sharp as a knife, and his eyes were cold. He was as emotionless as the god of death. At this moment he was sitting on a black devil chair. "Come, let me see what you're capable of. How dare you assassinate me?" Lin Xian pointed his sword in front of him. Chapter 23-27. Take out your strongest attack, otherwise you won't have a chance. The great demon snorted and looked down from above. In his hand, countless wisps of black gas circled around, forming a death scythe. His eyes were abnormally cold, and his body carried a powerful aura, as if a peerless demon king had descended to the human world. Whoosh! With a wave of his arm, the black scythe turned into a huge black moon and slashed forward. In an instant, it enveloped Lin Xian. Terrifying black gas filled the air, and a murderous aura pierced through the 9 heavens. This attack was terrifying to the extreme, and it was even stronger than the second demon's attack. Obviously, the great demon was the most terrifying one. Boom! Lin Xian's ancient sword slashed horizontally, colliding with the black scythe. After that attack, the two of them moved like lightning as they exchanged blows quickly. This was a huge battle. Lin Xian was a young genius, and his combat strength was extremely strong. In addition, with the Dragon Source Ancient Sword and the Great Dragon Sword Soul, his combat strength was shocking. On the other side, the Great Demon was even more powerful, and he had a fierce reputation in the 9 Underworlds dynasty. He could be said to be a peerless powerhouse. Now the two powerhouses were exchanging blows, causing the sky to fall and the earth to rend. In an instant, violent energy swept in all directions. Not good retreat. Xiao Kuang, Zhao Zhirua, and the others quickly retreated. On the other side, the Tung family's martial artists also retreated frantically. They retreated 50,000 miles away. Clang! Another shocking attack. The collision of the two weapons was like a clap of thunder. Whoosh! At this moment, Lin Xian attacked again. He clenched his right fist, and black flames burned like a black sun as he directly punched towards the great demon. Humph! The great demon snorted and raised his left palm to meet the black fist. A low voice sounded, and a terrifying light shot into the sky. This scene was too terrifying, as if two gods of war were fighting. Damn it, how is this possible? How can he defeat the great demon? Everyone was stunned, especially Tung Kuan and the others. One had to know that this was the great demon, the most powerful of the 4 Jili demons. He had lived for more than 2,000 years, and was extremely terrifying. Ordinary peerless powerhouses would immediately turn and run when they heard the name of the great demon. They would not dare to fight him at all. One could imagine how terrifying a great demon was. But today, a youth in his 20s was actually able to fight a great demon to a draw. Not to mention the warriors of the Tung clan, the second devil, the third devil, and the fourth devil were all extremely shocked. Although they were fighting with their opponents, their focus had always been on the great devil. Now that they saw the two of them fighting to a draw, they felt as if they had been struck by lightning. Their minds went blank. Impossible, damn it. I don't believe it. How could this brat contend against Big Brother? The second devil howled in rage. However, while he was distracted, the flower petals suddenly surrounded him and slammed into his armor. It made a tinkling sound. The second devil staggered backward, coughing up mouthfuls of blood. Damn it! I'll fight you to the death. The second devil let out a howl of rage as he ignored the god devil. He held the heaven-splitting axe with both hands and swung it at Morong Chingcheng. Morong Chingcheng, on the other hand, used the Jade Lake's great divine ability to fight against her. On the other side, the 3 demons and 4 demons were screaming in agony. They were now surrounded by danger. Their opponent's divine ability was too terrifying, and the flames in the sky made them feel like they were being barbecued. Moreover, they felt that their opponent was clearly toying with them. Otherwise, they would have been killed long ago. Humph. In front of them, the great devil snorted coldly with an extremely cold expression. To be honest, he had never expected this scene. He knew that his opponent was very strong, but he did not expect his opponent to be so strong that he could be on par with him. Kill. He knew that he could not wait any longer. He had to use his full strength to kill his opponent. Therefore, the great devil roared as his black hair danced in the wind. His eyes flashed like lightning. Boom! Demonic chi filled the sky, shaking the surroundings. The terrifying power overturned the entire world. He became stronger again. What a terrifying aura. The Tung clan and the others retreated frantically. Xiao Kuang and the others also retreated like lightning. Damn it! Could it be that the great devil did not use his full strength earlier? They started to worry for Lin Xian. Buzz! In the skies, the great demon roared out in rage. He was like a peerless demon king. The black scythe in his hand became even more bizarre. It let out a sharp cry and slashed down from the sky like a demon. Whoosh! A huge black crack appeared and extended downwards for thousands of meters. And it was still getting bigger. If one was swallowed up by this black crack, perhaps even a peerless almighty would not be able to escape. Whoosh! On the other hand, Lin Xian's speed was extremely fast. He quickly dodged the great black crack, and with a sky-shattering strike, he slammed into the black scythe. Not only that, the ancient dragon abyss sword emitted a dazzling light, and the great dragon sword soul in his body began to revolve wildly. Lin Xian's terrifying combat strength soared, and he wanted to shatter his opponent's weapon. Clang! Clang! An earth-shattering sound rang out, rushing straight into the clouds, causing a terrifying wave of energy to rise up in the void. It was thousands of feet tall, and it swept out in all directions. In an instant, the area within a radius of tens of thousands of li had completely fallen into the enemy's hands. However, this black sickle was incomparably terrifying. It must be a precious weapon. So under such a powerful bombardment, it was only retreating bit by bit, its light dimming. However, it did not shatter. Damn it, be destroyed for me. The great demon was also furious. Endless demonic chi poured into the black scythe. Boom! The black chi exploded, turning into a circular light wave. It instantly rushed in all directions. Death God summoning. The great demon held the black scythe and slashed out horizontally. Between heaven and earth, countless chi of death circled around, and an illusory image of a death god appeared out of nowhere. However, it was hair-raising. Tens of thousands of miles away, the Tung family's warriors, Xiao Kuang, and the others all trembled. They felt that their souls were about to be destroyed. Was this the power of the great demon? It was too powerful. In the distance, the Tang family members retreated tens of thousands of miles again. Boom! Crack! In front of them, countless sword chi swept across, and the space instantly collapsed. Damn it, what's going on? This aura? The great demon was shocked. Then his pupils constricted. There was something wrong with that sword. Boom! Just as he reacted, the ancient dragon abyss sword slashed down. The 1,000-meter-long giant sword slashed forward. In an instant, it collided with the death god's scythe. A strong storm occurred between heaven and earth, and everything within a radius of 100,000 miles was enveloped. Boom! 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 Tens of thousands of mountains disappeared together. Large patches of forests collapsed, and cracks tens of thousands of meters long appeared on the ground. There were hundreds of them. It was extremely terrifying. Chapter 2335. This group of people was naturally from the Tai dynasty. They had chased after Lin Xian all the way, and had never given up on hunting him down. Finally, they arrived at Qianshan City. However, when they heard the news from Qianshan City, they frowned. They were too late. Moreover, what shocked them was that Lin Xian had done something big in Qianshan City. It was even possible that the death of the Jili 4 demons had something to do with him. That kid was too arrogant. How dare he offend anyone? An old man from the Tai dynasty frowned. A middle-aged man next to him said in a deep voice, "Don't forget that he even dared to kill the Golden Lion King. What else did he not dare to do?" Hearing that, everyone fell silent. Indeed, the Golden Lion King was a genius of the war tribe. If he was killed, the Jili 4 demons were nothing. When they heard that young Master Qian San was killed, they decided to go to the governor's mansion. They thought that the governor's mansion must be furious, and would be very willing to cooperate with them. Sure enough, when these people arrived, the governor personally came out to welcome them. The governor was a middle-aged man who looked very dignified. However, at this moment his face was extremely gloomy. That was because his son had been killed in his own city. This made him unusually angry. However, he could not find the other party now. Moreover, the other party had a terrifying strength behind him, which made him feel extremely aggrieved. But now, the people from the Tai dynasty had arrived. Moreover, he also learned that the other party was a wanted criminal of the Tai dynasty. The governor revealed a sinister smile. Immediately, he joined forces with the powerhouses of the Tai dynasty to capture the other party. The two parties discussed in the main hall. However, half a day later, another group of people arrived. They landed. The people from the governor's mansion were surprised and hurriedly went out. Those people who came were naturally from the Tang family. They were also very surprised. They did not expect that there would be other people besides them. Moreover, what shocked them even more was that the other party was a powerhouse from the Tai dynasty. When the Tang family learned about what happened, they were shocked and immediately joined forces with the other three families. Moreover, the Tang family suggested that they join forces with more families. This was because Lin Xian had not only killed the people from the Tang family and the governor's mansion, but also many young masters from the big families. Therefore, they wanted to join forces with those families. Sure enough, those clans responded one after another. If they were asked to come out alone to take revenge, they wouldn't dare. But now, with the city lord's mansion, the Tang family, and the Tai dynasty taking the lead, they were filled with confidence. Therefore, they all joined the revenge team. When these people joined forces, they formed a super powerful force. Very quickly, they headed towards the place where the great devil was killed. The group of people finally arrived at the location of the battle. They looked at the scene around them and gasped. It was clear that the battle was very fierce. However, they were not here to enjoy the battle. Instead, they were here to track the other party. Soon, several figures landed on the Tai dynasty's side. Similarly, two figures descended from the city lord's mansion and the Tang family. After these people came down, their eyes shone brightly, and mysterious runes surrounded them. They grabbed at the air, as if they were trying to catch something. There was even a young man who was pinching his fingers non-stop, as if he was trying to divine something. "How is it?" General Xianying asked in a deep voice. At the side, the eyes of the elders of the city lord's mansion and the Teng family also flickered. Northwest. However, at this moment, Lin Xian suddenly opened his eyes. His eyelids were twitching violently, and there were even golden runes floating out of his eyes. What's going on? Seeing this, the dark red divine dragon at the side also turned its head. It didn't know why, but it felt uneasy. Lin Xian also frowned. This had never happened with the heavenly secret god eyes before. Chapter 2338. After all, these eyes were not his, but a gift from someone else. Although he felt that they had completely fused, he still did not know if they had truly fused. Now that something like this had happened, Lin Xian could not help but feel suspicious. In the distance, He Tu also floated over. He looked at the golden runes and said, I once heard that the heavenly secret divine eyes are very mysterious, and seems to be able to warn you. Are you being targeted by someone? It's possible. The dark red divine dragon also said that the Teng family would not let this matter rest. After all, their family had invincible experts. Moreover, the Tai dynasty and the war tribe would probably chase after them. Lin Xian also frowned. It seemed that it was really a warning. He did not expect the heavenly secret divine eyes to have such a function. Why didn't he notice it before? Indeed, he had been hunted down many times in the past, and was almost killed by the assassins of hell. At that time, the heavenly secret divine eyes did not warn him in advance. What was going on? How could he not understand? He realized that this pair of eyes was too mysterious, as if there were endless mysteries waiting for him to discover. He Tu changed direction. Lin Xian said. He Tu controlled the spirit ship and changed direction, flying in another direction. Sure enough, after a period of time, the light in Lin Xian's eyes disappeared. That feeling of uneasiness also disappeared. This made Lin Xian breathe a sigh of relief. Behind them, in a place extremely far away, a group of people flew quickly. Among them, the young man sneered and changed direction. Could it be that the other party found out? What's going on? Is that brat trying to escape? The surrounding experts were also worried. The young man in white sneered. Don't worry, he will definitely not be able to escape from my hands. As he spoke, he pinched his fingers and started to deduce. Mysterious Dao runes appeared around him, covering the void. It was very profound. It made people feel dizzy just by looking at it. Over here. Not long after, the young man in white opened his eyes. Boom boom. The huge spirit ship under their feet was also flying quickly. In front. In the black earth, Lin Xian's heart beat wildly again, and that uneasy feeling appeared again. At the same time, mysterious runes flashed in his eyes. What's going on? Why is this feeling coming again? Lin Xian frowned. He felt like he was being watched. He told Crimson Shinong and He Tu about this feeling again. The two of them were also very confused after hearing it. Oh no, looks like we've been targeted. Dark Red Shinong angrily slapped his dragon claw. Being targeted? What did that mean? Aren't we being hunted down? No, it's different. He Tu also explained. It seems that this time, someone used the great deduction technique to directly lock onto your position. This was different from a blind pursuit. This time, they're heading straight for you. Great deduction technique. Lock onto the position. Lin Xian was shocked. This was the first time he had heard of such a thing. No wonder he had such an uneasy feeling. No wonder his heavenly secret divine eyes would send out such an unusual warning. Damn it, who is it? Teng family? City Lord's mansion? Or the Tai dynasty? Lin Xian frowned. No matter who it was, it would probably be a fierce battle. So in the next moment, he changed his position again. And from then on, Lin Xian kept changing his position every once in a while. Every time he changed his position, his uneasy feeling would disappear. But not long after, the uneasy feeling would appear again. Obviously, the other party had locked onto him again and again. Damn it! Seeing this scene, Lin Xian's face darkened. He didn't expect the other party to be an expert who could lock onto his position so clearly. What? How can the poisonous aura be destroyed? That treasure sword is fine. How is this possible? What kind of treasure sword is that? Even a top-grade treasure weapon can't resist the corrosion of this poison. These people were stunned. The Tang family's martial artists were even more terrified. The elder also frowned. There was something wrong with that treasure sword. In an instant, he saw the crux of the problem. Snatch his treasure sword. It's a supreme treasure sword. The Tang family's elder shouted angrily. Hearing this, many people's eyes lit up. The Tang family's martial artists moved out together. Now that the Tang family's ancient sword was blocked by the soaring Serpent King, the other party's strength should be greatly reduced. As long as they killed the other party, the ancient sword would be theirs. At this moment, not only the Tang family, but the Tai dynasty, the governor's residence, and the surrounding families also moved out. Naturally, they could tell that the ancient sword was definitely powerful. It had probably surpassed an earth-grade treasure sword. Whoosh! Whoosh! In an instant, 3,000 experts came around Lin Xian. Terrifying light divine arts rained down on Lin Xian. They wanted to shatter Lin Xian. Go to hell, brat! These people sneered sinisterly. A bunch of ants. How dare you have designs on my treasure sword? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Then, the goddess of ice on his body quickly flapped its wings. A terrifying power of ice instantly surged out. Crack! Crack! 3,000 experts were frozen in an instant. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly and threw out a punch, shattering those ice cubes quickly. 3,000 powerhouses were torn apart. Swoosh! Seeing this scene, the cultivators who wanted to charge forward stopped in their tracks. Their faces were filled with horror. Damn it, what's going on? He's still so powerful without the treasure sword. They realized that they were wrong. The other party's strength didn't just rely on the terrifying treasure sword. Retreat! Many people felt that something was wrong and frantically retreated. Lin Xian sneered. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? He flicked his finger, and a dragon-shaped sword wave spread out in all directions with him as the center. Puff! Puff! The sword wave was too sharp. It carried the power of the great dragon sword soul, and was incomparably sharp. The void shattered in an instant, and those martial artists were instantly affected. Puff! They were split in half and fell from the sky. In an instant, more than 8,000 martial artists were killed. Old man, it's your turn now. After dealing with those people around him, Lin Xian looked at the skinny old man in the distance again. He could be considered a living fossil. He was more than 3,000 years old. Whether it was his combat experience or combat awareness, he was very terrifying. How could such a person not be angry when he was looked down upon by a brat? Chapter 2342. How dare you fight against the Tang family's living fossil? You're courting death. The Tang family's martial artists sneered. General Xianying and the others also snorted when they saw this. The corners of their mouths curled up into a sneer. It seemed that joining forces with the Nine Li dynasty's experts and clans was the right choice. However, the other party was too arrogant. Not long after coming to the Nine Li dynasty, he offended countless big clans. This time he was definitely dead. Looking at the bound ancient dragon abyss sword above, Lin Xian was not anxious or angry. This was because he knew that the ancient dragon abyss sword was a heaven-grade treasure sword. Its power was beyond their imagination. No matter how powerful the Tang King snake's skin was, it could not damage the ancient dragon source sword. Therefore, he was not in a hurry to retrieve the sword. He decided to play with these people. Don't these people think that I'm only relying on the treasure sword? Fine, I'll kill them with my bare hands. I'll let them know my true strength. Idiots. On the other side, the dark red divine dragon looked over while fighting and snorted in disdain. He knew about Lin Xian's strength. How dare these people look down on him? They must be courting death. Sure enough, in the next moment those people screamed. This was because Lin Xian did not snatch the ancient dragon abyss sword. Instead, he charged forward. His target was the Tang family's spirit boat. Courting death. Seeing that the other party was charging directly at them, the martial artists on the spirit boat were all furious. The illusory Tang snake behind them quickly soared into the sky, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws as it charged forward. TSK, TSK. Bang, bang. In an instant, the void in front of them exploded. However, it was useless. Lin Xian waved his hand, grabbed the illusory figures, and rubbed them with force. Boom! The terrifying illusory tongue snake was directly torn into two. This scene was too terrifying. It was too shocking. Those who were torn into pieces vomited blood crazily. Many of them directly split open. Am dead meat? Am only relying on the treasure sword? Lin Xian sneered. As he spoke, he opened and closed his fists, bombarding the surroundings. At this moment, he had already charged onto the spirit boat and was surrounded by the Tang family's martial artists. Everything that was hit by the fist was smashed apart and turned into a bloody mist. At the spur of the moment, hundreds of Tang family's martial artists were killed. Damn it, kill him! I must kill him! The eyes of the Tang clan's warriors turned red, while the living fossil snorted coldly. Who would have thought that the other party would still be so domineering even without a sword? However, the other party was truly courting death by coming to their spirit vessel. In the next moment, the snake-headed walking stick in his hand swayed gently, and countless arrays formed on the spirit boat. Buzz buzz buzz, the chains danced in the air and instantly wrapped around Lin Xian. Lin Xian's arms, limbs, and head were all bound and dropped to the ground. This is great! The kings of the Tang family heaved a sigh of relief and cheered. Mighty ancestor! Was this the living fossil of the Tang clan? It was indeed powerful. When the other king almighty saw this, they were also extremely shocked. Such a powerful genius had been subdued in an instant. Kill him! The Tang clan's martial artists surrounded them again. They stood below and looked up at Lin Xian, who was hanging in the air, and roared ferociously. Wouldn't killing him be letting him off too easily? Don't worry, it'll make him suffer a fate worse than death. The living fossil of the Tang clan snorted coldly. Let me try first. A young man stood out. He was also a genius of the Tang clan. His face was originally filled with fear, but when he saw that the other party was captured, a sinister smile appeared on his face. The living fossil elder of the Tang clan was also shocked. He didn't expect the giant dragon's shadow to be so real. Even the dragon's might made him tremble unconsciously. Roar, roar, roar. As soon as Lin Xian's dragon shadow appeared, the three-headed soaring serpents below also kept roaring, their faces full of uneasiness. Obviously, they felt a huge threat and a strong sense of suppression. Chapter 2345. The dragon and the three serpents fought, and terrifying energy surged in all directions. A shocking light surged, and the entire sky trembled. Heavy rain fell from the sky, strong winds swept, thunder rumbled, and lightning flashed. All kinds of terrifying scenes appeared as if the world was about to be destroyed. The martial artists on the surrounding spiritual boats and warships trembled when they saw this, and they kept retreating. General Xianying and the others frowned. They did not expect the dragon that Lin Xian summoned to be so terrifying. It did not feel like an illusion at all. It was a real divine beast. Boom! 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 After a fierce battle, the three flying serpents wailed and split apart, turning into spiritual chi and dissipating. What? The flying serpents were killed! Everyone exclaimed. The Tang family's living fossil elder had a ghastly expression on his face. He was originally full of confidence, and even looked down on the other party's divine ability. Now he was the one who was at a disadvantage. He, a living fossil, was suppressed by a young fellow. Old man, I told you, you can't compare divine abilities. Lin Xian stood on the divine dragon and looked down at the elder. He waved his hand, and the illusory true dragon under his feet charged forward again. This time, his target was the living fossil elder. Boom! The illusory dragon flew quickly in the sky, making rumbling sounds. With thunderclouds in the sky, it arrived above the spiritual boat in an instant. Roar! With a furious roar, the illusory giant dragon opened its bloody mouth and spat out black flames that surged downward. This was hellfire, and it instantly surged downward. Soon it arrived above the spiritual boat. If the flames fell, the entire spiritual boat and the thousands of martial artists on it would probably be killed. The Tang family's martial artists were frightened. They retreated frantically and left the spiritual boat. On the other hand, the living fossil elder's face was cold as he looked up at the sky. Subsequently, he stretched out his old palm and slapped in front of him. Although his palm was old, it emitted a terrifying aura. It was like an immemorial mountain that rampaged in the sky and shattered the void. Boom! The palm shattered the hellfire that filled the sky, forming a terrifying crack in the void. A huge black hole appeared in the sky, and all the hellfire was sucked in. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly when he saw that his opponent had broken through the hellfire so quickly. In the next moment, he continued to control the terrifying true dragon above him. Once again, it spat out sea god ice that filled the sky. Boundless power of frost spread out in all directions, freezing everything in the area. Boom! Boom! Ka-ka-ka! The huge palm was also frozen in the sky. Then it shattered into pieces and exploded. The living fossil elder retracted his palm, his expression gloomy. Although he had broken his opponent's divine ability, his opponent's second divine ability had also broken his palm. He found it hard to believe. Humph! His eyes were cold and gloomy. As his palms moved, the ground beneath him cracked open. Countless rocks tumbled and quickly assembled in the sky, forming a huge rock sword that was thousands of meters long. He grabbed it with his withered hand and slashed it forward. This scene was too terrifying. It was as if the living rock had grabbed the entire earth. The stone sword was formed from the essence of the earth. It was extremely heavy. Although it was only 1,000 meters long, it was as if the entire earth was being rotated. The void instantly shattered, and the ice in the sky cracked open. However, although the sea god ice cracked, the power of ice and fire quickly emerged again. The two powers merged perfectly, forming an even more terrifying shock wave. The fire spark stone elder wielded the huge rock, carrying the endless power of earth to fight. After 30 fierce collisions in the sky, countless cracks appeared and countless lightning bolts fell. Then the two disappeared in the void at the same time. Damn it, this kid is too terrifying. He was actually able to fight evenly with an elder, who was at the level of a cremation stone master. The surrounding people were extremely shocked. However, some people's expressions were even more unsightly. That's not right. The huge dragon in the sky is still there. If this continues, is this kid going to suppress the fire spark stone? Everyone swallowed their saliva. As for the living fossil elder, his expression was gloomy. Since when could he be suppressed by a kid in his 20s? More importantly, he didn't even use his full strength. This was what he was relying on. In the next moment he said coldly, "Kid, I have to admit that you're very strong. Even I am surprised. Unfortunately, provoking the Tongue family will be your biggest mistake. Your illusory giant dragon is very real and very powerful. However, it's only an illusory figure. In front of a real demon king, it won't be able to withstand a single blow." What did he mean? What did he mean? The surrounding king almighties looked at each other. Could it be that the Tongue family brought a peerless demon king? Old man, show me what you're capable of. Lin Xian was fearless. You'll see. The living fossil elder snorted coldly. His body suddenly released a terrifying aura, and his robe shook rapidly. A powerful force surged from his body. Subsequently, the living fossil elder bit his finger and quickly waved it in the sky. The blood danced with his hand and turned into mysterious runes one after another. Accompanied by endless energy, they formed a huge blood-colored pattern. If one looked at it from afar, they would see that the entire pattern was a snake's head. It was incomparably ferocious and lifelike. The blood-colored pattern was huge, but with the speed of a living fossil, it was completed in almost a second. In an instant, the terrifying blood-colored pattern transformed and emitted a demonic aura in the sky. What's going on? What kind of ability is this? Many people looked at this scene with fear on their faces. This was because they felt an uneasiness in their hearts. Psychic. Accompanied by the appearance of the blood-colored runes, the living fossil elder's cold voice was also heard. Following that, the huge blood-colored runes suddenly emitted an incomparably bright light that covered the entire sky. Following that, a huge creature quickly crawled out of the blood-colored runes. Boom! 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 The huge creature appeared, and a terrifying demonic aura spread in all directions. Accompanying it was a shocking roar. All of this was shocking. What's this? Everyone was dumbfounded when they saw this scene. Lin Xian also frowned because a terrifying huge snake crawled out of the blood-colored pattern in front of him. This huge snake was the same as the soaring serpent from before. It had a pair of wings on its back, a single horn on its head, and purple scales all over its body. As soon as it appeared, it carried a strong demonic wind. "It's the soaring serpent!" everyone exclaimed. Could it be another illusory figure? No, that's not right. This aura is even more terrifying than the previous 3 illusory figures combined. Many people were shocked. However, General Xianing exclaimed, "It's not an illusory figure. It's a demon king, a real demon king." What? It's a real demon king. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect that the thing in front of them was a real demon king. Chapter 2346. Lin Xian also frowned. He could naturally feel the monstrous aura emanating from the other party. Unlike the cold illusion, this was definitely a real demon king with flesh and blood. Boom! As soon as the soaring serpent appeared, it spread its purple wings and charged over with powerful purple lightning. Soon, it tore the dragon illusion into pieces. Whoosh! Seeing this scene, the Tang family warriors cheered. The living fossil also snorted. "Kid, did you see that? This is my true strength. Although your illusions are powerful, in front of a real peerless demon king, they can't even withstand a single blow." Lin Xian frowned. Countless sword lights rose from his body and blocked the terrifying demonic wind. He had to admit that this living fossil was really terrifying. He could actually summon such a terrifying demon king. However, so what? Comparing demonic beasts? He was not afraid of the other party. Therefore, in the next moment, the corners of his mouth curled up into a sneer. "You are right. A real demon king is the most powerful. However, your soaring serpent is only a demonic snake. How can it be compared to real dragons? What does this kid mean? What is he talking about? Could it be that he also wants to summon real demonic beasts? Does he want to summon dragons?" Heavens! These people were all stupefied. The living fossil old man also snorted coldly. "Kid, don't try to be mysterious. Do you really think you can summon one?" He did not believe it at all. However, Lin Xian sneered. "Is there a need to summon one? There is one right now." As he spoke, he pointed into the distance. Everyone's gaze followed Lin Xian's finger. Then they understood. Indeed, there was a dark red dragon fighting in front of them. It was fighting against hundreds of almighty kings alone, and was having a great time. This was definitely a real demon king. Moreover, it seemed that the other party was more similar to dragons than the soaring serpent. In fact, they did not know that this was a part of the characteristics of dragons hidden by the dark red dragon. For example, he had hidden the dragon horn and one of the 5 claws. If he really revealed the appearance of a 5-clawed true dragon, those invincible kings would probably chase him all over the world. However, although he had hidden his dragon horn and 5th dragon claw, he had not hidden his strength and divine ability. "Ruffian dragon, I'll leave this to you," Lin Xian said in a clear voice. On the other side, Ruffian Arowana was fighting with hundreds of people. The array formation around him flickered. When he heard Lin Xian's voice, he turned around. In fact, when the soaring serpent appeared, he had already sensed it. It was impossible for him not to know about such a terrifying demonic bloodline. Therefore, when it heard Lin Xian's call, it swung its tail and sent dozens of people flying. Then it quickly rushed over. "Let's go." Seeing the dark red divine dragon leave, the surrounding King Almighties also flew forward. They didn't attack again. Instead, they formed an encirclement and watched from afar. In front of Lin Xian, Tang Shi looked down at Lin Xian with disdain after destroying the dragon's shadow. However, when the dark red divine dragon arrived, his gaze changed. Its huge eyes were filled with shock. It shifted its gaze from Lin Xian to the dark red divine dragon. Roar! Seeing that the other party dared to look at it, the dark red divine dragon let out a furious roar that shook the 9 heavens. Instantly, everyone fell to the ground. The purple-winged soaring serpent trembled and subconsciously took 2 steps back. It had no choice. It was a terrifying demon king with the bloodline of an ancient demonic beast. However, in front of a real divine dragon, it was nothing. If it wasn't for its strength, it would have been crushed to the ground long ago. Humph! Little worm. Do you think you can show off in front of me just because you have wings? Seeing that the other party was scared away, the dark red divine dragon snorted in disdain. The surrounding people's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. In particular, the Tung clan's martial artists were even more shocked. The Tung clan's living fossils' eyelids were twitching. Heavens, what's going on? That peerless demon king, the terrifying purple-winged soaring serpent, was scared away. They did not dare to imagine. What's so difficult about this long red dragon in front of us? Is it really a horned dragon? The Tung clan's living fossil's face darkened. The purple-winged soaring serpent even roared. It felt insulted. Therefore, in the next moment, it roared and quickly charged over. The purple-winged soaring serpent was terrifying. Just its demonic wind alone had sent many people flying. One could imagine that even an almighty being would not be able to withstand a head-on hit. Come on, I'm not afraid of you. The dark red divine dragon scoffed coldly. I'll eat your flesh and drink your blood. Who knows, my strength might even break through. The dark red divine dragon let out a strange cry, swung its tail, and charged over. As the two humongous creatures exchanged blows, terrifying cracks spread. Everyone frantically retreated. There was nothing they could do. The two demonic beasts were too terrifying. A casual attack from them was not something these people could contend against. Although they had retreated, their gazes were firmly fixed on the front. Many of them were even staring at Lin Xian. Lin Xian stopped the living fossil elder and said coldly, "Old man, it's time to get rid of you. Kid, you're courting death." The living fossil elder was enraged. He had originally summoned the vine serpent to deal with the kid in front of him. However, he did not expect the other party to have an existence similar to a WIRM. As a result, his vine serpent could not kill the other party at all. It seemed that he had to do it himself. However, it did not matter. At most, he would just consume some energy. He wanted to kill the other party with his own hands. Therefore, in the next moment, the living fossil elder snorted coldly. His voice was like thunder from the 9 heavens, causing the space in the sky to crack. It was horrifying. Buzz! Elder Sure reached out a palm and grabbed in front of him. As soon as his palm reached out, it enlarged infinitely and covered the entire sky. In that palm, there was a sun and a moon revolving around it, as if it was the entire universe. Everyone was shocked. What kind of divine ability is that? It's too terrifying. Sun-Moon Divine Palm. That was a legendary palm technique that could evolve the sun and moon. It was extremely terrifying. They did not expect the living fossil elder to be so terrifying. Many people were terrified. Boom! In the sky, the Sun-Moon Divine Palm slapped over and instantly enveloped Lin Xian. A terrifying aura descended and could crush the 9 heavens. Lin Xian naturally felt the danger. He snorted coldly, and sword light surrounded his body like a sword god. The terrifying sword light split the 9 heavens and blocked the descending light. Then, Lin Xian snorted coldly and waved his palm. The ancient dragon abyss sword that was wrapped in the Tung Snake King's skin began to tremble rapidly and wanted to break out of the body. Oh no! The kid is going to use the sword. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people exclaimed while the living fossil elder snorted coldly. You don't have a chance. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.